Mister, tell me the scariest thing you've experienced. Scariest thing I've ever experienced? There was one time where I was like in my old like place, and it was like 3 a.m. and I was getting into a bath at 3 a.m. because I used to have a really degenerate lifestyle. And someone started banging on my front door. Hey, let's set the mood. Let's do this. So I was getting into a bath at around 3 a.m. because I'm a degenerate back then. Actually, I still am now. But I was more degenerate. And I was going into the bath. I started undressing and I was about to go into the bath. And as I was lowering myself into the bath, I heard like... Oh, the music started when I banged. It was like, dun dun dun. And I was like, the fuck? Who's knocking on my door at 3 a.m.? Like, what? It's 3 a.m. and I live far. Like, away from a lot of people, you know? So, it's not like I live in, like, the center of, like, some random city or something. Like, no, I live, like, away. It's like, what the fuck? That's really weird. And I ignored it. And then I got into my bath. And then it went louder. It was like fast and aggressive. I was like, what the fuck is that? So, like, I turned off all the lights in my house. And then, like, I like, peered through the window. I didn't see anyone there. And I was like, what the fuck? And the thing is, on my street, back then, the house that I lived at was the last house on the street. Which means whoever knocked, like, I would have heard if they were knocking on other people's houses, right? I would have heard. But they chose to knock on my house at 3 a.m. and I'm the last house in that street. And so I called my mum up and I was like, someone just like knocked on my door and I don't know what the fuck that was. And she was like, what? And she lived kind of near me during that point. So she came outside, like right away. And she walked like up to my street and she looked there and there was just no one there. And I was like, bro, what was that then? And she was like, oh, it was probably someone drunk. But I'm like, well, if it was someone drunk, like, why the end of the road? Why my place? And why at 3 a.m.? And what? There's no one drunk around and we would have heard something and like, I don't know. So that was like really scary to me. I was so scared and I was really like traumatized. And it wasn't like police or anything. There was no police cars. There was nothing. So I have no idea what the hell that was. Even to this day, I still don't know what that was. It was fucking scary, bro. And like, the thing is, this might sound weird, but I actually get really scared of door knocks. Especially when they're at like past nighttime. I don't know, the sound of a door knocking is just so scary to me. I don't know why. Like, I guess because it's so loud and like thumpy. I know it's just a fucking door, but I don't know, man. It's like getting a phone call. Like, I get the same kind of anxiety. It like makes my spine tingle a little bit. I'm like, ugh. What the fuck?